This new spirit of affection, rapport, and cooperation could never be attributable to a fleeting whim. On the contrary, it totally derived from an already deeply established approach, viz. belief in Allah, His Messenger and His Book. It was a belief so rooted in the selves that it managed to stand immune to all powers of injustice and aggression, and could be translated into miracles in the practical aspects of action and ideology pursuit. That sort of belief was the real instrument for the Muslims to record in the annals of history unprecedented breakthroughs. We are also sure that the future will always remain wanting as regards those great achievements carried out by those great men. The vanguard of migration in the cause of Allah, after the endorsement of the Second Aqaba pledge and the establishment of a petite Muslim state in a vast desert, surging with disbelief and ignorance, the most serious gain in terms of Islam. The Prophet, PBUH, gave his leave for the Muslims to migrate to Medina, the nascent Muslim state. Migration to Medina, in terms of personal interests, was no more than material waste and sacrifice of wealth, all in return for personal safety only. Even here, the migrant could not expect full security. He was liable to be robbed or even killed either at the beginning or end of his departure. The future was foggy, pregnant with various unpredictable sorts of sorrows and crises. Bearing all this in mind, the Muslims began to migrate, while the polytheists spared no effort in hindering and debarring them, knowing beforehand that such a move implied unimaginable threats and unthinkable destructive dangers to their whole society. The first one to migrate was Abu Salama, a year before the Great Aqaba pledge. When he had made up his mind to leave Makkah, his in-laws, in a desperate attempt to raise obstacles, detained his wife and snatched his son, and dislocated his hand. Salama, after the departure of her husband and the loss of her son, spent a year by herself weeping and lamenting. A relative of hers eventually had pity on her and exhorted the others to release her son and let her join her husband. She then set out on a journey of 500 kilometers with no help whatsoever. At a spot called Atanam, Uthman bin Talha came across her and offered to give her a ride to Medina. She, along with her son, joined Abu Salama in the village of Quba, a suburb of Medina. Ibn Hisham 1468-2. Another instance of the atrocities of the polytheist Makkans, as regards migration, is Suhaib. This man expressed his wish to migrate, and of course this was a source of indignation to the disbelievers. They began to insult him, claiming that he had come into Makkah as a worthless tramp, but their town was gracious enough, and thanks to them he managed to make a lot of money and become wealthy. They gave orders that he would not leave